about Ben Roethlisberger and Michael Vick for a little bit, okay? They're controversial figures, certainly, okay? We don't need to go into what happened. Here's my beef, okay? I see hits all the time on these two, okay? Ben Roethlisberger had his nose broken, no flag, okay? Now, a few weeks prior to that, I saw when the Eagles were playing Indianapolis, Trent Cole literally grazed the side of Peyton Manning's helmet like that, and they threw a 15-yard flag. Okay. Now, the announcers in that case, Jim Nantz and Phil Simms. Jim Nantz said, "Is that a penalty?" And Phil Simms says, "It's not. It is because of the rule. So you have to throw the flag." Manning gets that call. Brady, they changed the rule because of Tom Brady with the going low to the knees. Okay. Mike Vick gets hit late all the time, helmet to helmet. Roethlisberger, same thing. Are the referees subconsciously or consciously holding their past against those two?
Well, you got to think about Mike Vick to start with, because he is a runner. He's not going to sit in the pocket. He's going to run. And if you saw that hit on Sunday Night Football, where he had one step on the line, he might have been going right out of bounds, and they didn't give him the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
I think the referees, they're probably going to not throw that flag,
But to me, and I get that, what they did, terrible stuff. But if you're going to let them back in the league, you got to call it evenly. You have to call it the same way. If Brady and Manning and Breeze get those calls, Roethlisberger, okay, Vick, you want to say he hasn't accomplished anything? Roethlisberger's got 2 rings. Roethlisberger's arguably a top 5 quarterback in this league, in my opinion. He needs to get those calls.
What I think with Roethlisberger, he's a big guy. He's like part lineman out there. And you know what? The referees look at him and see some guy take him out. You know what? They're not going to give him the benefit of the doubt there. I think they're going to let that slide as well.
Peyton Manning's 6'4", 230. He's not small. Tom Brady's 6'5", 240. Not small.
That's a good point.
I think that they're getting a bit of a raw deal, those two.
Well, you have to take the refs have to take the human element out of it. The refs are fans of the football and NFL.
Great point.
They listen to sports radio just like we do. They read newspapers just like we do. They have to rise above their own personal thoughts and call the game as they see it. That nose break, I don't even know if the ref was in position to see that.
The ref's standing right there.
I remember but I remember them showing the replay over and over, and when I saw it in fast and real life motion, I was like, something happened to his helmet. I remember saying to my wife, something happened to his helmet. And then they replayed it, and you could see his nose getting twisted all sideways. It was pretty gross, actually. But the ref may not have saw that.
I agree with that.
That's his whole job. The referee standing behind the play. His whole job is to protect the quarterback.
Yeah, but there's so much going on. It's happening so quickly.
So
it's hard to catch everything. So you know what? I'll give the refs one here and there, and that one, I do agree with you. It was kind of like he was reaching and getting tugged on it, and just kind of, it didn't even look like a hard hit, if you ask me, but clearly it was.
It didn't look like a hard hit either, but neither was the one Trent Cole hit on Manning. It wasn't. But by rule, it's a penalty. You get your hand around a quarterback's, especially a quarterback's face, while he's standing in the pocket. It's not like Roethlisberger was running. It's not like he was rolling out or anything. He was standing in the pocket, and you get your hand up around a quarterback's face. I guarantee you, if that was Manning or Brady, they would have gotten that call.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough there. I mean, they have a certain, I guess, rapport with the refs. I mean, they're out there pre-games talking it up, yakking it up. They don't have this stigma that they've done something against society.
Right.
And that goes a long way. Let me tell you, when you make friends with the referees, that is the best thing you can do. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Maybe they're not being buddy-buddy with the referees.
Never worked for me. I got kicked in the face in rugby. My nose went. It was funny because Chris Collinsworth was like, "Oh, I broke my nose a couple of times," and he was like, "It never looked like that to sight." I was like, "Well, mine did."
But Chris Collinsworth is the worst announcer in the
ever. He's horrible.
In the history of organized sport.
How is that guy calling games? I don't know. You guys tell me. Chris Collinsworth, the worst announcer ever.
Well,
in any sport.
Tim, tell the camera you're available.
I'm available anytime you need me.
You could actually leave just Al Michaels alone, because Collinsworth is just terrible. He's really
horrendous.
It's like he makes Joe Theismann look like John Madden. Okay, let's move on. We're going to go on to the next topic, and let's go now. We're going to go international. right up Calum's,
yeah.
right up Calum's alley. Let's talk about this ridiculous decision to let Qatar host the World Cup.
Well, you voiced your opinion.
Really? I mean, really? Really?
Well, come on. It just shows clearly how FIFA here is just, you know.
Wait. No,
Show
I
me
have,
the
I have a quote here from Sepp Blatter. He says, it had nothing to do with money.
Come on.
It's got to be true, right?
Yeah. Everything you read's true. Come on.
Unbelievable. It's just, they have, you're talking a country half the size of New Jersey, okay, with the same population as Nebraska, okay, going to host the world's premier sporting event.
I mean,
They've only
got, what, 14 hotels in the whole
Right.
country?
They have 3
Half a million
stadiums.
people come into that.
One
for the
liquor,
World Cup.
one liquor store. What are English soccer hooligans going to do for alcohol?
It's going to be madness. You
It's
kidding me?
illegal to drink there.
Well, once again, as a Scotsman, what England are going to do, they're not going to make the World Cup.
Oh, now, you know, we all know that's just a pipe dream.
And we're not either.
And Scotland, I was about to say, and Scotland is.
Well, no, actually, which brings me to another point, right? This is, besides the country being tiny and it being 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever.
120.
Yeah, well, there you go. Here's another thing. Scotland are going to, for example, just as an example, we're going to be qualifying against Holland, Italy, Spain, Germany. Qatar walks straight in. They've never been to a World Cup. They've never won a football game.
That's a great point.
I think Qatar has a great badminton team.
They are ranked.
No,
they are ranked right now, as of this taping, 113th in the world.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
It's.
And how can they host it? I mean,
It's a disaster.
People worried about South Africa. They're like, they're not good enough.
Well, if
So-
it had to do with money, why couldn't the United States write a big enough check?
Well, that's
Nice.
what Blatter said. He said, if it was to do with money, the States would have got
And
it.
the United States was actually finished second in the voting, as it turned out. But I thought personally, I thought it should have gone to Australia. I thought
Yeah.
Australia, sports mad country, and I think it would have been a great place for them to go.
Yeah.
But Qatar is it's a disaster. It's I'm anxious to see what happens if Israel qualifies. That's going to be just awesome.
Yeah.
Because they don't even recognize Israel as a country, even though they did say if Israel qualifies, they will be welcome. Oh well, thank you. But you know,
I mean, are gays going to be welcome? That's just
no, that's another
apparently
thing.
not.
Did you hear what Blatter said about that? Blatter
Yeah.
said about that? He's like, they said because public displays of affection are illegal. You know?
Wow.
And so people said, well, what about homosexuals? And he said, well, I guess they should refrain from public displays of affection.
wow.
I mean, you know, right or wrong, whether you
Yeah,
agree with it or not, I mean, you don't say that if you're in a position like he is. You don't make that statement.
Yeah.
It just makes me question his leadership ability
I mean, the only
even further.
There's one thing I'll say about the World Cup thing in Qatar, and I've written down here in my notes here.
All right, let's wrap. We're gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well,
real quick.
is that it's 12 years from now we're talking about it.
That's a
That's
good point. Yeah, and that's a good point. All right, let's go. Let's move on. We're going to talk about the Heisman Trophy winner, Cam Newton. Controversy. I think personally, controversy is the behind the scenes stuff. There is no question, with all due respect to LaMichael James, no question that he was the best player in college football this year.
Absolutely. Cam Newton from the start here has completely dominated and has carried the Auburn Tigers' entire season and has been the game changer that has allowed him to carry the team on his back and win games in crucial situations. Down by 24 to Alabama, come back and win that game. Unbelievable. I mean, Cam Newton is just
Raw talent.
incredible.
Absolute raw talent.
Unbelievable.
And unlike I think, in my opinion, unlike Tim Tebow, I think his skill set translates very well to the NFL. So
I'm
Yeah.
still holding out on that. I haven't seen enough film of him to like give him the seal of approval on that, because he's such a kind of a scatter quarterback. He's over here, he's over there, but he's so huge. He's not as short as Michael Vick is.
Right.
But he's got that speed. He's got that just raw. Man, this guy can play football.
I tell you what, I'll give you some highlight video of the Auburn LSU game where
Go
he
War
had.
Eagle.
Man, I tell you what, he tore the Tigers up.
he did. I
LSU,
think
that is.
I actually think he compares. I think he compares more better to Vince Young than Michael Vick because of his size. I think he's faster than Young. I mean, I don't know what his 40 time is or anything like that, but he seems to be faster than Vince Young, and he seems to be a more complete quarterback than Vince Young. Maybe not at this point in his career, But I think that eventually down the road, I think Cam Newton, is an NFL star. I think.
Yeah, and you don't have the crazy factor of Vince Young as
There's
well.
that.
Which,
You do have the crazy. You do have the crazy daddy factor.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, talking about the scandals and all that, I think with the Heisman Trophy, you give it to the best player,
right.
and because if there's no evidence or whatever it is, and if you find out later on, well, he shouldn't have it, then just give it back like Reggie Bush did. So, you know what I mean? So,
I mean,
and
here, you can have it back.
Yeah,
I don't
because
really
Bush has got a Super Bowl ring.
I can buy my
I'll
own.
take it for now.
and if you scratch hard enough, you're gonna find scandal with every major
Right.
university.
Well, and the fact of the matter is there's no evidence that he knew what was going on. There's no evidence that any money ever changed hands.
You know what you're.
But come on,
There's
come
no
on,
evidence.
guys.
How old is
Let's
he?
all be realistic here.
He's
Everyone pretty much knew
21.
what was going on. His dad was getting the money, and we all know what was going on.
At
here.
21
But the thing
years old,
about
he
it
can't
is,
tell you
I
what-
know.
it
Yeah,
happens
exactly.
in the NCAA everywhere.
Right. That's
Everywhere. Everyone's getting paid out there, whether you want to accept it or not.
No, then I don't think anybody. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't think that.
Yeah.
Or not really. You can't really. I mean, if you're watching big time college sports, you know that's just how it happens. Look
It
at
is.
John Calipari. It follows him everywhere he goes.
Absolutely.
The
As
NC
crooked as can be, but he's a
NCAA
dynamite coach.
Until they get to the tournament.
Yeah, well,
The
you know,
NCAA
hey, well, you know, look at him right now in Kentucky, man. I tell you what, he is in the almost in the Final Four every year with every team he brings. Whether he's in Memphis, whether he's in Kentucky, I tell you
UMass.
what,
Doesn't matter where
UMass,
he goes.
he's a very good coach. He's a dynamite recruiter,
Great
and
recruiter.
look out for Kentucky.
Cash talks. It really does.
It does.
Mr.
It'll buy a
Calipari,
national
NCAA Rules Committee on line 3. Don't climb out that window.
Having said that, you know, I mean, it doesn't make you be as players. It doesn't make you be a better player.
No,
You know,
that-
there
that's-
are
that's
certain
a play the
areas-
game.
You still have to
You
play.
still have to play. No matter what happens, you still have to play. And Cam Newton, by far, the best player in college football.
So Cam is going to
Clearly.
beat Nike. I mean Oregon.
Yeah,
That is
I
going to be.
think so.
That is going to be a dynamite
That's gonna be a
national
I'll tell you what.
championship
That's
game.
big.
I'll tell you what.
Fired up for
versus
that
offense.
game.
Cam Newton, great player. LaMichael James, special. First
Yeah.
round pick. I think going to be a superstar in the NFL.
I'll tell you what, with Oregon speed, and then you have, you know, Cam Newton from Auburn. God, I don't know.
They
man.
average
That's a tough call.
Almost 500 yards a game.
I think you might
Total
be looking
offense.
at like a 45, 42
Yeah.
game.
It's going to be high scoring. I definitely for sure.
It's going to be fun to watch, no question about it. Okay, let's move on. Let's wrap this up. We're going to talk about a pastime that's going on, the Winter Classic coming up in the NHL. Hockey and outside football and baseball stadiums. This year, the Winter Classic is going to be on January 1st between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Washington Capitals at Heinz Field. In addition to that, there's going to be a Heritage Classic as well in Calgary on February 20th between the Calgary Flames and the most decorated franchise in North American sports, your Montreal Canadiens. What do you guys think about this hockey outside?
I love it. It's awesome. Hockey was invented on a pond, and it should be played outside.
Right.
I wish it could be accommodated in different areas. You know, obviously it can't due to the fact that of weather conditions.
Well,
You're not
be
going
hard
to play
for-
outside in
Be-
Florida.
Right. Be hard
So,
for the Tampa Bay
exactly.
Lightning to play that.
But look what Michigan State did.
Yeah.
They had 113,000 people at one game. That's the largest crowd ever to witness a hockey game, I believe. I mean,
It is.
so I think it generates a lot of buzz for the sport. The sport is a good sport. It just needs more attention, and I think this is helping it gain popularity.
I would say that anybody who's not a hockey fan,
This guy looked at my nose.
Sorry,
if
Dave.
you go see one in person.
Yeah.
Go see one in person. People told me that for years, and I thought, you know, I'm a
Changes
big
the way
hockey.
you look at it.
I'm a big hockey fan. I watch hockey on TV all the time. I went and saw a game in person. Completely changes
Yeah,
your
right.
aspect.
Oh yeah, the speed and how incredibly fast it is, and the checking, and how physical it
It's
is.
football on ice.
Incredible. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Here's a nugget for you. In this Winter Classic where they started in 2007, the visiting team in the Winter Classic has gone on. It's my nugget, man.
We ran out of time.
Going on to win the Stanley Cup.
Going on to lose the Stanley Cup.
Oh.